Welcome back to the show. This, of course, is our weekend preview. We've got action both in the UK and Ireland and loads of it. So, we're going to cover off some races for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But first of all, let's check in with the boys. Joe, how are you?
Good, Liam. Good. Yeah, pretty nice racing this weekend. I've got some strong opinions on half of it, and then pretty much next to nothing in some of the other races. So I'll be useful somewhat, but maybe not too much.
Well, hopefully, then Jamie has got the answers for the races that you haven't. Jamie Wren, how are you, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Looking forward to this now, actually. There's a couple of decent horses this week that I'm looking forward to, yeah.
Yeah, there absolutely is. Right, we'll kick on with it. The 150 at Windsor over 2 miles. Be aware is your favourite in here. This is, of course, on Friday. 11 to 8 favourite. No questions asked. Came down, unfortunately, when looking like the potential winner last day. 7 to 2. Hansard 4 to 1. Al 7 to 1. And Road Less Travelled at 12s. Joe, I'll start with you. Is this one of the races where you do fancy something or not?
Yeah, unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, I just fancy the favourite though. Be aware. I think what he's done so far this year, finishing behind July Flower and Lulamba, is pretty strong form, and it's over this trip. Whereas the likes of no questions asked, he might be a 2.5 miler. I know he seemed to potentially not quite stay, but it might just be that he's not quite a top class 2.5 miler. I still think he is one for that trip. Hansard, I'm not quite sure he's totally good enough. Al Lam's definitely got a chance, but I think this is point and shoot here. Be aware, I think takes the beating in the opener, Liam. To be fair, 11 to 8, that is short enough, but he's a horse that goes forward all the time. He's going forward, forward, forward. Where you can't say that if you go back and watch Hansard and no questions asked. So slightly short price in the opener, but I think be aware will take some stopping. To be fair,
Yeah, from a personal perspective, I hope that he goes in front top
yeah.
five. Of course. Jamie, is there anything else you like in here, or are you with Joe?
Uh, I kind of like no questions asked here, Liam, tentatively, because I don't think. Look, the other side of it is that Parry Skelton will want the prize money and keep up the bandwagon of going to Target this weekend with all the prize money to get a big enough lead on Willie Mullins. I understand that, but 147, I know that Jack Richards, I got it wrong that it's a limited handicap. He wouldn't want to be going up higher than that, than 147 to me, because I think that's a high enough market regardless of the race if he's targeting Cheltenham. But 11 to 8 is a bit skimpy for me. It's a tough enough race, Liam. You could run this race 5 times, you get 5 different winners. Tentatively, no questions asked, because I'd be just a little bit worried about Be Aware. Is he going to target Cheltenham in the race in the Jack Richards rather than this? But the other side of that, he's 11 to 8 for prize money that Dan Skelton will want for the championship. So, look, you can't put him off. It's a bit skimpy, but I'll go no question asked. But well, have I a huge opinion on it? No.
I see. I think he's a bit of an out and out two miler. I think he might struggle at the
Yeah.
end. Remind me, lads. It's not a 0 to 145, is it the Grand Annual? Because this is run number 4 for Be Aware of Offences.
No, there's no limit. There's no limit in the Jack Richards, and there's no limit in the Grand Annual. No, no. But
Cheers.
there's 4 runners. Oh, the Grand Annual is 4 runs. Yes, for a novice. Yeah, you're correct.
It's just going to change the mark of those lower down. If they go above 145 and stuff, basically.
Yeah, just for others may struggle to get in or whatnot. Okay, great stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm with Jamie. No questions asked. I think potentially that might be the route that they look at with Be Aware if they're targeting a return to Cheltenham. So perhaps he's one who wants a bit more education over fences, shall we say? We'll stay at Windsor. Another race a little bit later on in the card, and I think the Skeltons are definitely going after this. I think he's got about half the field. It's in the 3:35 again over 2 miles. The Fitzdares Sovereign Handicap Hurdle. Great Fleet is your favourite for Skelton, 7 to 1 in terms of the prices I'm looking at. Live Conti again for Skelton in as second favourite at 8s. Hot Fuss at 9s. Poet Laureate at 9s, and then it's 10 to 1. Bar those, you've got the likes of Go Dante, Willful. Listen to your heart in here. Deep field, Jamie. Is there anything that you like at a price or something towards the head of the market?
I like one of the price here. Was third the last day at Cheltenham behind Fortune the Mare. Now he was ridden that day by John Joe O'Neill. Now Michael Keneally is banned in Ireland because he overuses the whip, but he comes over here and he takes £5 off. Melon is the name of the horse. Um, I think that I'm not saying it's a tip in itself, Liam, is that I think he's a very good rider. Now he hasn't seen Windsor. That's another that's another story. Do you know what I mean? But because of the form behind Fortune de Mare, and he was not a bad juvenile for the Guerrero and Greenall team. It's just a tentative stab. I think he's overpriced 16 to 1, and especially now with the £5 off from Keneally, I wouldn't put anyone off backing in each way. But look, it's 7 to 1 to field for a reason. Um, yeah, I like Mellon here. Yeah, yeah, I think he's a worth a bet each way here.
Well, happy days. Yeah, gone up £2, but then gets five back, as you
Yeah.
say. That's an angle as well, Jamie. Joe, firstly, should we be allowed to name horses after other very well-known horses from the past?
It's a bit too close, isn't it? It's not like Madden was like 25 years ago or anything, you know? Doesn't really bother me, but I wouldn't want anyone to sort of go and name a horse Marine Nationale or Galopin de Champ in a few years' time. So it would just feel a bit strange. So luckily it's Melon, we'll say that anyway. Um
And this race, mate.
yeah, this is one I probably haven't really got much of a say on, but interesting that Jamie likes Melon to be fair, because he's by a German stallion called Adlerferg. You don't see sort of many of his go jump in, but I think this horse was spoken quite highly last season as a quite a nice juvenile. So last season, year before even. So there might be a big pot in him, and when I don't really have much of a say, then just follow Jamie and yeah.
Yeah, no, happy days. I think Hot Fuss has potentially got a win in him. If this is a little bit deep for him, potentially that is the case. I need to have a second and third look at this race. Sadly, I just haven't had time to go through it. But look, the Scoutons are mob-handed, as mentioned, and their runners definitely shouldn't go unnoticed, that's for sure. We'll move on to Saturday then, lads, and we'll
We
start.
we we,
Sorry,
we we've missed the race. I think according to the schedule, I wasn't aware that we were doing the 150, but we
Yeah, but three
on the
o'clock.
on the schedule we were at 3 o'clock and 3:35, so we are missing one there, mate. The 3 o'clock we've got the Nemean Lion
The
race
Lion Potter's Charm take no chances.
on Friday.
yeah, 3 o'clock. So we skip the 3 o'clock, yeah?
No, we did skip the free.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, got you.
No
Got
worries. Yeah, we'll go to the 3 o'clock then in Windsor in that case. The me
yeah.
and Linus mentioned 13 to 8. Potter's Charm 10 to 3. Take No Chances, who's got multiple entries. I'm assuming that this is the most likely race for her. 10 to 3. Outer Belly Sevens and Royal Infantry 12 to 1, who's halved in price. Go on then, Joe. We'll start with you, mate. Is there something that
Yeah.
you're up in this?
Yeah, I like one here. I mean, for start, Potter's Charm is just no good. He's not a proper racehorse. They should have sent him chasing. I can't believe they decided to stay over hurdles, and it's backfiring. They again shouldn't really crib trainers because things aren't always guaranteed to work out. But I think they've missed a massive trick not sending this fellow novice chasing. What they were doing targeting the stayers with the campaign he's had so far, God knows. But Take No Chances would be my selection, Liam, if this was up at 3 miles, but 2.5. She has won at 2 miles, but in this quality, I don't know if she's going to be quite good enough. I'm actually coming down boringly again, but a winner's a winner on the favourite Nemean Lion course and distance winner. The 2 mile forward trip here to me just looks like it's absolute standout. He beat Steel Ally back in February. He also beat Salva. He then went on to finish a length and a half behind Golden Ace last time out at Newcastle in the fighting fifth. The form is pretty damn strong, to be honest, especially over this trip. I think that is why he is the right favourite here. If this was longer or shorter, I might have a few varying opinions, but I think based on this course and distance winner over this trip, he ticks absolutely every box here. Where Take No Chance, I think, needs to go up in trip. Potter's Charm just doesn't seem to race properly. Alto Belly's quite well weighted, but ultimately, Liam, I think Nemean Lion picks up a well-worthy win here.
Fair enough, Jamie.
Yeah, I think he's half a length victory beating who did he beat? Salver in this last year, same course and distance.
Mm.
Then went on to win a national spirit hurdle, beating Steel Ally, who's a very good horse. So it's quite boring because I think Potter Charm is no good. And no offense to Take No Chances. I know he's declared here, Liam, that I would take no chances. It just doesn't like winning races. That's just my opinion. Um, yeah, I think it's just a penalty kick from really and my third in the fighting fifth, like behind Amsterdam and Golden Ace. Like, what more do you want? And it's won this race last year. It's won over course and distance. I know it's boring, 13 to 8, but it's a winner. It was a winner. I think it's just better than these two. So it's the main line, yeah.
Yeah, I'll certainly be with Take No Chances in this. I'll just be watching it, obviously, with my money invested for Cheltenham. I think it's a case that she's just bumped into better horses. I think that Strong Leader's perhaps slightly better than her. Well, that's been proven on 2 occasions, finishing a neck behind Strong Leader. And then Impose Etoile, obviously, you see how short he is in the markets for the Stayers Hurdle and how much he's improved. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jack.
No, that's fine. No, ignore me, really. I was gonna say the form's strong, but again, it's all at 3 miles, like, and I think she needs the lot of it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of turn, but
No, you might be right. Obviously, with softer conditions underfoot here, I
true.
mean,
Yeah, true. That might
um,
play to her strength a little bit, I suppose.
yeah,
Um,
perhaps talking slightly from my pocket, but
hey,
yeah,
you got to.
I'll be with her. Right, I think now we can skip on to Saturday, can't we? The
Yes,
140.
yes.
Happy days. Obviously got Nurse Susan in here over the minimal trip. The grade 2 mares hurdle. Nurse Susan at 13 to 8. Sunset Marquisa fours Joyeuse, who I was surprised to see not go for the £110,000 handicap, to be honest, on Friday, and therefore JP's got no runner in that race at all. Sixes, Take No Chances, isn't going to run. La Conquiere at 9, who's been given a good mention, and then it's 12 to 1 bar. Jay, I'll stick with you. Is Nurse Susan going to make it 3 from 3?
I think it's the wrong trip, Liam. I think they're just experimenting to see if she's a graded horse. Coming from handicaps, all her best forms over 2.5 miles. Watched the race back last day at Sandown. She took an age to get going. I think she'd be better off at two. I might be talking nonsense here, but I think she's better off at 2.5 miles plus. To be honest with you, I think they're experimenting here to look after going for prize money. To be honest with you, um, I think Sunset Marquess is any good. Joyous looks gone at the game. They tried chasing, like she has been no good since she won the William Hill Hurl last year. Take no chances around here. I look. I know the Conquier has lots to find on form, and it like needs 12 pound of an improvement to beat Nurse Susan. But look, I know she's an entry above in a race that we'll get onto at Haydock, but I think she might come here. And if she wins this, I'm like, she will not be 9 to 1 anyway on the day. She's 9 to 1 currently, best price. She won't be 14 to 1 for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle at Cheltenham. So if she's even in the first two here, her price was definitely slashed to second favourite behind Bambino Fever. So I think she's a rattling good mare from what I've seen you Toxter and Newbury. And she's an extra gear at the end, which I love to see in horses. And look, because of the cut up, and I'm totally against Nurse Susan. I don't like Sunset Marquis. I don't like Choi Hughes. If she runs here, and I think 9 to 1 each way is a cracking bet. La Conquer for me, yeah. She's the improver.
Would you put anybody off having a few quid for Cheltenham, Jamie, prior to the
No,
race?
because I've backed her for Cheltenham. 14 no, actually, I got 20 to 1. Sorry, yeah.
There we are. Talk about talking from your pocket.
Yeah.
Joe, are you in agreement with Jamie? Looks like a potential improver. Some nice form in that Aintree graded bumper last season as well.
I don't really know, Liam, because I think it's blatantly obvious when Nurse Susan are targeting the Coral Cup. She's off a marker 140 now. Obviously, the Coral Cup's 2 mile 5, much more her bag, like Jamie said. So it's no surprise to see that she's drifted so far. I suppose the positive is that they're deeply chasing prize money at the moment. This is 34 grand to the winner. Again, a very handy sum to add on to the tally, but it is a little bit short. She takes a little bit of a while to get wound up. And perhaps they know that, and that's why they're just sort of leaving her in this 2 mile race because it might just come a little bit short for her. I don't think Le Conquier is good enough. I don't. I don't think that £2 from the likes of Joyeuse and a few others is enough. She is all speed, but like to go up and win this from being a novice, like she's going to have to be seriously good. So I suppose if she does win it, you can mark the performance up massively. I'm actually going to take a chance here on the horse that seems gone at the game, as Jamie said, and he's right as well because that's Joyeuse, who they said won the William Hill Hurdle last year off a mark of 1-2-3, beat lump sum by 8 lengths. Now we saw a little bit of a recovery mission last week or the week before with Iberico Lord. I think we might see a similar feature here. They're certainly going to be trying anyway, and if it goes wrong, they'll go to that handicap hurdle with a lower mark than what she's obviously on this weekend. Does it just serve for Sunset Marquisa? Maybe she's not good enough. I just take a chance that Joyeuse is going to come back to form sooner or later, and I don't think we're far away from that point now. And they might end up winning this by default, actually.
Fair enough. Yeah, this will be a watching brief for me. I'll be quite keen on two of the potential novice mares in here. Supreme Malinas, I think, is the other one for the Skeltons. He's won twice. The latest victory, the second, has subsequently come out and won. I think Path de Ronda was back in third for the Racing Club, Joe. So yeah, those two will be interesting to see how they cope in graded company. But yeah, it will be a no bet race from me, unfortunately. We'll move over to Ascot in that case. We've got 17 fences to be jumped over 2 mile 5. Vincenzo for Sam Thomas, who had a good winner earlier today, funnily enough. We're recording on the Wednesday. For Di Walters, and Vincenzo's obviously lined up here. Bad is 5-1. Scarface 6s. Etalon, who won the last day, at 8. And then you got Hitman, Issam, and Martator, who's seen a bit of money, all at 8-1 as well, 10-1 bar. Joe, is there anything you like in this handicap?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. It's not one I'm really too keen on getting heavily involved in. But Issam is a horse that just keeps standing out to me. Now he's got a little bit of form in this race behind Etalon and Scarface when they ran last time at Ascot just before Christmas. Obviously he likes the track too, but he definitely could have got a little bit closer that day, and I think they know it too. Tom Simmons is a trainer that doesn't have a massive amount of horses, so where we see the likes of Joe Tizard and Dan Scouten, who've got Scarface and Etalon, heavily campaign their horses, Tom Simmons has to be a little bit more careful and target certain races. I've got a feeling this has been the plan. I think this is the race that they've been trying to target him for. He's had a nice gap between his 2 runs this season. He won on debut at Wetherby. Then I said came here last time out and finished third off 136. He's only gone up a pound for that. I think that's more than fair, and I think he's going to be absolutely primed for this. Vincenzo is the obvious one, Liam. He is the right favourite. He's just a little bit not necessarily tactically versatile. So I think Issam is going to be the one that gets his day here, although you could run this 10 times and get 10 different winners, no doubt.
No, very true. Just for those that are listening, obviously it's pre-declarations. Issam is entered and jocked up in the 1 o'clock at Ascot, so he may well ultimately go there. Callum Pritchard's on board, but look, things can change. He could well still line up here. Jamie, what wins this? Jungle in the field. You
No, move on. I think you'd run this exactly what Joe. You could have 10 times and 10 different winners. They all run around Ascot at the same time every year. No, move on. Like Cheltenham maybe if he came back to form, 16-1 each way maybe. But no, it's the same. But like bad wins at Ascot, Scarface, Etalon won the last day. Issam was in the same race. Fugitive looks gone at the game as well. Jungle Boogie looks too old. Cheltenham maybe each way would be my tentative selection name, but it's that's crap. That's just me.
Okay, well, the next one certainly isn't crap. 30 at Ascot, Clarence House Chase. John Bond, obviously on a bit of a recovery mission. Saying that, he did finish second on both of his prior starts, but that's been a little bit of a feature. Second, 4 of his last 5 starts. Ilite Tom, top of the market, 8-15, 9-2 John Bond with Harry Cobden in the plate. Thistle Ascot 7s, Gidley Park at 8, and then JPR1 at a massive price at 40-1. Jamie, reverse order, we'll stick with you. Is John Bond going to come back to his brilliant best?
I don't know what they're doing. He should be up at 2.5 miles, 3 miles now, Liam. Maybe he's gone at the grade 1 game, but he's the wrong trip. Penalty kick for Elite Tom. Who cares about the rest? It's on then to Marine National and Championships.
We spoke on one of our other shows, Joe, about £50 of improvement from Thistle Ascot as a 9-year-old. His form reads 1-1, 1-1-1. Do you think he can add another 1 to his name?
Not a chance. Not a chance. No, he's gone up 50 odd pounds, and now he's going to need to find at least another 14 if he's going to match Ilite Tomp, and I can't see that. Look, he's a real exuberant jumper. He seems pretty quick, but this is a different ball game. And for those that just visually watch races and maybe are newer to the game, they might say, "Oh, Thistle Ascot is an incredible horse." But you wait until they get him into 2 mile pace this weekend. It's going to be a completely different ball game for him. As soon as they eyeball him, backwards he goes. Yeah, look, if I can get 1 to 2 on the day for Elite Tom, I'll be emptying my pockets because he's a good thing here. Outside of Marine National, he's the best 2-miler, just not at Cheltenham. But it sets up the clash, like Jamie said. So, yeah, I'm all in on Elite Tom, providing I can get 1 to 2 on the day.
Just an open question to either of you. I know he's proven it at Leopardstown, but do you think he is slightly better going right-handed as well, Ilite Tom?
Definitely. I think that's massive. Yeah, he did win the Irish Arkle, obviously, at Leopardstown. But the race...
Gaelic Warrior punched down as well, easily. Yeah, going right-handed. He looks at home going right-handed.
Sandown and Ascot. I think Sandown's probably even better for him than Ascot, actually. But I see no reason why his form won't stack up here again. He's been flawless with his jumping as well. He's just going to be really hard to beat. Gidley Park, you can't back a horse that wears a heart monitor all week, can you? It's just makes me uncomfortable. That does. I think Ilite Tom wins by 8 lengths because everyone beats John Bon by 8 lengths.
I love it. Right, let's give over to Haydock. I cannot wait for this race. I think it's going to be brilliant. I hope that they all stand their ground and line up. Old Park Star in the Rossington Main Novices Hurdle is the favourite. Obviously, another graded race, the Grade 2. He's 4-5. Hurricane Pat, who I know on some of the times that have been recorded, and some of the time specialists have thought that he's been very impressive. Obviously, beat Sober Glory, bolted in today. 9-4, 10-1 bar. Do the rest even matter? Joe, Old Park Star or Hurricane Pat, which camp you in?
Old Park Star, definitely. Yeah. Hurricane Pat's got to give him £2 as well, which doesn't quite seem fair. He beat Soldiers Reeves by 5 lengths last time out. And to be fair, this is a really nice horse. I just think if you had deep fields, this is what you'd call a proper Grade 2 horse, Hurricane Pat, where I think Old Park Star could be the Grade 1 horse. I was on a podcast with the Rein It In lads a couple of days ago, and Bo was saying, you've got El Kairos a faller, you've got the Talk a faller, then a few question marks below that. And he said, I think potentially the Supreme winner's sort of staring us in the face. And I'm starting to believe that as well. So if he's going to be the Supreme horse, then he has to get this job done here. And I think he'll beat him quite handily, to be fair. But I would like to see Old Park Star and Hurricane Pat a little bit clear of the rest. I'd like Hurricane Pat to make sure, he finishes again 5 lengths clear of Soldiers Reeves, and then Old Park Star go on from there. But yeah, look, his jump's good as well. He just wings everything. He's quick away from his hurdles. He should be hard to beat, Liam, and I hope they go quite prominent with him as well. I don't want him to pass horses. Get him out in front, let the best horse win the race. I think here, yeah, another favourite for me.
No, fair enough. I suppose probably when the hype was coming around about Fire Warning was probably the chance to double down for those that were already on, or those
Yeah.
click back in. Jamie, are you in complete agreement with Joe? And just a second question to you: do you like the fact that they're bringing him here to this race on route to Cheltenham?
Yeah, it's kind of a tried and trusted route that kind of Henderson kind of does, Liam. He did it with John Bon as well. John Bon won this race. Hurricane Pat has the penalty because he beat Old Park Star at Sandown by 5 lengths in a bumper. So, look, Hurricane Pat's all his best form, Liam, is at Sandown. So, can he do it on a tight track like Haydock? And it's the same with Old Park Star. Now, Old Park Star is running around a tight track like Kempton, so he's going the other way around at Haydock. He was seriously impressive the last day at Cheltenham. It's going to be a good race. You're going to go find out a lot, and hopefully they'll both go at it. It doesn't make sense, I suppose, as well. I suppose I know what you're saying, but Old Park Stars weighted 142, now Hurricane Pat's 136, but Hurricane Pat beat him at a bumper by 5 lengths and was more visually impressive than him. But you could say the same about Old Park Star. It's a good race. Could I call the winner at the moment? I suppose it's £2 that Old Park Star is going to sway me, but it's going to be a good race. Yeah, I'm going to find out a lot when it comes to the Supreme.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm really excited for it, and I may be unloading a bit more money on Old Park Star just in case he looks like the weapon I think he is. 2 o'clock at Haydock on Saturday. The head of this market in this 3 mile chase in the Peter Marsh is Confusion. He's been given a Gold Cup entry. They're obviously dreaming. Why shouldn't they dream? Fair play to the owners. They think there's still more improvement because the handicapper hasn't caught up with him. He's 10-3. Mayertown, the ultimate winner, is joint favourite at the same price. You've got Johnny Who at 9-2. Mr. Vango, who always runs his heart out, 5s. Royal Pagai, who's won this previously, of course, at 9s, and then 12-1 bar. Jay, I'll stick with you. Is Confusion, has he not been caught up by the handicapper? Do you think he wins?
I think he's being caught by the handicapper now, Liam, to be honest with you. Obviously won really well at Newcastle, won really well at Weatherby, beating Marble Sands, unseated obviously Haydock the first time when he was really fancy there, 3 starts to go. Grand Jest rocked up the last day in the big handicap the last day. Was it the Tommy Whittle? Went up £10 for that. Maybe could be a bit more improvement than that, and because he won by 8 lengths, but he was eased down from a long way out because he was the winner all the way around. But the problem is this time Confusion and Grand Jest have to deal with Murder, and I think he's on a recovery mission. He's still off mark 142. He's 10 stone 11 now. Depends if the weights go up, if the top weight comes out. But I think I think he'll win this easy. I think he's better than 142 if they're going for the race, unless they've something else in mind for later on in the season. But Wiretown, Wiretower, sorry, is a better horse than Confusion, and is a better horse regardless of the way Grand Jest. So he's a wherever Mr. Van goes in it. If Johnny Who runs, he's only getting his 146 dropped further to go back to the Kim Muir. But I think Wiretower is just a class apart. He should be winning this easy. I think he's probably one of the bets of the weekend. Yeah, I'm all over.
No, fair enough. Obviously, there's a few other familiar names in here, Joe. Royal Pagaille I mentioned. Resplendent Grey is doubly entered. He's also entered at Windsor. But look, this is worth 56 grand. I saw that Ollie Murphy was on holiday in somewhere very exotic today. I imagine he would probably like to bag that prize money. Is there anything else in here that you like aside from my town, mate?
I have a Liam Price fancy here, and I really, really fancy this horse as well. Now, I need to explain my reasoning first of all with the front two, Confusion and Meertown. Um, they made a bit of a mistake, I think, with Meertown when they ran in the Coral Gold Cup because he's a horse that likes to go forward, and he didn't have position early, and they had to really sort of ride him quite strongly early to get him to the front. And by the time he got to the front, that's when he made his mistake. I just don't think they ever had him in his comfort zone. But he likes to go forward. Confusion likes to go forward. Royal Pagaille might like to go forward here as well, considering he's carrying top weight. And I'm not sure that's going to be ideal because I think they're all going to be taking each other on um, for that lead. And I think the race is actually going to fall apart a little bit. If you go a little bit further down to a horse called Richmond Lake at 25 to 1, this is a horse that looks ready to finally get himself inside the winner's enclosure. He was third in this race last year, and he actually gave Mr. Van Gogh £2, ran a really, really good race. This time round, he receives £20. It's a huge, it's a £22. Did he give Mr. Van Gogh? He gave Mr. Van Gogh £2. So it's an £18 swing here. And his Haydock form reads 2-1-3. He's run plenty on sort of real soft conditions. He's actually ran okay on fast conditions too, but this good to soft right in the middle should mean that it unlocks every single bit of that handicap mark. And I think he's going to pick them off late. And at 25 to 1, I would back him. Would I back him before? Has he jocked? I would, yeah. He's got Brian Hughes jocked up. I would back him now. 25 to 1 each way. Richmond Lake. I really like this horse, Liam, and it's not often I like horses this price that strong.
So I'm going to watch this back, type of everything you've just said, and send it off to Oddschecker. I look
Yeah.
Fair play, 25 to 1. That'd be absolutely brilliant if that goes in. We'll go over to Windsor, as I just mentioned. In the 120, over 3 miles, the Hampton novices chased the grade 2. Salva was really impressive 2 starts ago. We've got Moon Rocket in here, who's been touted for a potential tilt at the Ultimate. I've seen in a good few places. Wade Out, who was given a brilliant ride by Sean Bowen the last day. And then we've got Dorian Quest, Jericho de Repenay, and then the likes of Quebecois, Lawrence Bay, and even Hollygrove Char Char at the bottom of the market. 2 to 1 favourite Salva, Joe. Would you be taking him on or with him?
I mean, look, how many handicap plots do you want in one race? Wade Out's going to probably want that marker cut of the pounds down from the National Chase. Dorian Quest the same. Jericho de Repenay isn't a 148 horse. Quebecois, he needs to show a little bit more. Lawrence Bay, he is what he is. Hollygrove Char Char's not going to run here. So look, this is between the front two in the market. I wouldn't be surprised to see Moon Rocket in something like an Ultima, actually, looking at his profile. Salva's a little bit disappointing in the Quarto Star. Didn't really seem that flashy. Probably does need soft and probably got a little bit of an easy win the time before when he won at where did he beat Dorian Quest? Sandown. So I think it's going to lead to Moon Rocket. He's the one that seems sort of like geared up for the race when the others are potentially looking to knock a pound or two off their handicap mark. So Moon Rocket for me, Liam, yeah.
Jamie, this is worth 30 grand. Is Wade Out? The Wade Out's on a marker 145. Bit of a conundrum, isn't it, for Ollie Murphy?
Huge conundrum, yeah. Okay, you're going on Wendigo for him here, really. To be honest, Joe, he beat Wendigo. Wendigo beat Salver in the Quarto Star. Salver wouldn't have been loving the ground in Kempton. So the softer the better for Salver. But exactly what you're saying, it's like 9 to 2 laid out. Is he going to be trying? Because 145, if he goes up, he's out of the National Hunt Chase. So that's the catch 22 where Salver's off 147.
And don't you think, James, sorry, don't you think as well, we'll Wade Out, they can sort of get away with an interesting ride because he takes a lot of winding up and encouraging, so they
Oh,
could be
and
nice.
Sean Bowen's going to drop him out and pretend
Yeah,
he's after bridle. Yeah,
you
100%.
can.
So, no, unless he's trying. But look, because of the form, what we said already, Liam, about in the mean line beat him last year in the 2.5 mile hurdle on the Friday by half a length. He's going around Windsor again. It's going to be soft ground, so that's up P Street. And he should be winning this. And Moon Rocket would want to be winning this because off a mark of 141, the way Kim Bailey targets an ultimate, you wouldn't want to be going up further than that. So, yeah, Salver should win this. But exactly what Joe said, it's the handicap plots behind is what you're going to be watching more than Salver winning the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we'll move on to the 3 o'clock in that case. Protectorat won this last year, I think I'm correct in saying, didn't he? He went from the front,
Mm.
great line, was quick and then slowed down by Harry. Could be a repeat of that because he's 4-5, handstand 7-2. Mateta, who won at Mateta's the footballer, Matata. For the double green, he won at Cheltenham on New Year's Day. Salvers also entered up here, Resplendent Grey, Hitman, who won't go, and Jungle Boogie again. Going to be a small field, Jay, I imagine. Do you think it's just rinse and repeat, Protectorate from the front?
No, I think things got better. I'm going to take him on. I love Protectorat. Uh, we were sitting next to each other, Liam, and saying, why isn't he a 3 mile 3 race in the November meeting? But he ran well. He travelled well. Uh, could I put you off? He's no penalty, which is a huge thing, I suppose. 4 to 5 to find out. Handstands, I would have a chance, all right, but would he give £8 a fully 100% protectorate, not a hope. Look, I've won a lot of money off him down to the years, Liam, but I think Matata turned the corner, really turned the corner the last day at Cheltenham, and it's been crying out obviously for the step up and trip now. It's an extra 2 furlong and a bit and a half more than when he won the December Gold Cup. 2 furlong, sorry. Uh, but I think he'd have a chance, all right, to beat Protectorate this time. Like he's running well. Um, the step up and trip has come. He looked at home at it, and I think he'd put Protectorate under pressure if he goes from the front. So I know he has to give him £4. There's £5 of difference, but because Protectorate is a bit, I hate to say it, small bit long in the tooth, is the old flame still burning? I think it's just to run the last day from Matata, sorry, 4-1 to find out. I would go against one of my old favourites, and I think Matata will win, yeah.
Fair enough. The Crystal Palace striker for Jamie. Joe,
Matata.
who wins the Fleur de Lis chase?
I think Protectorat's going to be desperately hard to beat off this mark. Um, Ben Pauling's convinced Handstand's a better horse than what he's been showing us. Like, he's convinced by it, but you've got to give weight away, like Jamie said, to Protector and Matata, and that probably does make it a little bit difficult. But the fact that Matata is relatively or completely really unexposed over these sort of trips may make him the one to be with. He's going to have to be really, really strong in the finish, though, and it's definitely like a specialist track here. But I suppose the benefit is that he has actually been here previously, so and he ran quite well too. So look, I'm probably not going to have a bet just to be transparent, but I'd probably side Matato on the base. You can get 4-1. Mind you, does he want it this soft over this trip as well?
Oh, he does it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, if Jamie's right, then I'll
Let's
side
see.
with Matata. But
Yeah.
he was on
Okay.
good ground last time, though. I just wondered if that helped him just bowl along in front and sort of ping the fences. I don't know if that's the key to him, maybe. So look, I'm not going to have a bet in here, but Matata and Protectorat.
Between the two.
Yeah, between the two.
There we are. Play the reverse forecast. Perfect. We'll go over to Ireland on Sunday. We've got the Mares Novice Chase, the Grade 2 at Thurles. Carla Conti in here, and of course Jay DeGruzzi. Other than that, are any of the other runners, Jamie, graded quality? And which ones you like between the two, if not?
Can Conti give £5 to Jada Cruz is the biggest question, Liam. And what way the bookies are going to price it? I think they'll price Jada Cruz favourite. Tentatively, I think it'll try because of the form behind the Big Westerner. Like, it's a furlong shorter than the Big Westerner race at Limerick. I still think she doesn't make a great shape over her fences, but she might get away with it against Calaconte. But look, you could be not impressed by Calaconte. He's won over 2.5 miles, beating Jade de Gruge at Cork. Then wins at 2 miles, beating Carnegie. Carnegie's rocked up at Leopardstown. I just think Calaconte's a better horse than Jade de Gruge over fences. I think Jade de Gruge should be back hurling. So whatever price Calaconte is, hopefully it'll be odds against. I back Calaconte to beat Jade de Gruge, even give him with the £5.
Fair enough. Joe, do you have a difference of opinion or not?
I do, yeah, I do. I'll go against Jamie. I'll take him on with Jade DeGruge, actually. I thought we saw a much better version of her the last day behind the big Westerner. I love that form. Um, look, I don't dislike Carla Conti, but I think what we saw of her last year gives us a proper reflection of what she is, just a little bit short of the top horses. That being said, she has only got sort of like 7 lengths to find with Lossy Mouth. She only had 2 lengths to find with Spindlebury on heavy ground. Um, Sorry, that's Jade DeGrugy. Sorry, and I think the Jade DeGrugy form will just stack up better the further we go into the season. But you can't ignore how impressive Carla Conti was the last day. But since um, New Year's Day, I think Gordon's about 1 from 33 runners, so his form has dramatically dipped, and that's just a slight concern. And as we're getting towards the DRF, I'm just wondering if Mullins is going to start to fire. It was more encouraging from Jade DeGrugy last time, so I think she might take a step forward again and get the job done. So me versus Jamie there. We'll have a point on it.
There we are. Happy days.
Or an Overton.
It's probably also jab season, isn't it? I'm not sure if that's why Gordon's perhaps a little bit quieter at this moment in time. The other race that we're going to cover from over in Ireland, the Horse and Jockey Hotel Chase, the Grade 2. JP's got almost half the field, including the Topham winner from last season. Which ones are off, which ones aren't, who knows? You've got to appreciate it in here, along with King of Kingsfield, one of Joe's horses to follow for the season, James de Burley and Down Memory Lane, amongst others. Obviously, no prices at the moment, Joe, but is there something that you would like in here, or how do you see it being priced?
I don't like this race at all, to be honest, Liam, because you've got a lot of sort of grade 2 and grade 3 horses, nearly horses, some that don't seem to always hit the best form. I'd probably take a little swipe each way. She could be anything if I was there at the track. I'd probably back her each way because at least you know she's going to run her race. Where you can't say that about James de Burley. He's a bit of a dog. Gentleman Domini's a very particular set of sort of conditions. Down memory lane just isn't for me. King of Kingsfield, not sure what the plan is at the moment. Is it the Jack Richards? They've sort of been running him cold, since his good start at the beginning of this year. Hercule de Soy's been good on his day. Appreciating, not interested. It's not a race that particularly interests me, but if I was at track on course, I'd probably back She Could Be Anything each way, and you'll probably get a decent price on it too.
Fair enough. I'm struggling to understand how Appreciate It is 12 years of age, to be honest. 7 when he won the Supreme, but Jesus. Jamie, do you fancy the 12-year-old, or is there something in here that you do like?
Well, I suppose he will be fair because he was second to Affledale Fury last day at Thurles. I thought Down Memory Lane turned the corner the last day, Liam. Like exactly, Gentleman to me is only one target of mine. It's a Grand National or another top him. James de Burley, no. Monbeg Park, no. She could be it, no. Arkle side, no. King Kingsfield is only running around so you can run in the Jack Richard or the Grand Annual, whatever. So it's been appreciating and appreciating Down Memory Lane. So whatever the bigger price, I presume Appreciate will go off favourite. But I think just the way Down Memory Lane, I know it was only handicapped the last day at Nevin, but I just saw something of the old Down Memory Lane and maybe he'll go and back it up. But the problem with the horse, he never backs it up. So it's a very hard race. You could run that race 8 times, you get 8 different winners. So tentatively, if I get a decent price on Down Memory Lane, I might have a poke at that.
There we are. So Jamie settled on Down Memory Lane. Joe, I'll come to you first. Can you give me your any bets from anywhere else? Anything you like in the hand? Any other races we haven't covered? And your best bet of the weekend?
Well, I like a few short ones this weekend. The Me and Lion being one of them. Ilite Tom, like I said, I will unload my pockets if I get 1 to 2 on the day. But I'm going to put my neck on the line with regards to a betting perspective. Whilst I fancy one at such a big price, Richmond Lake in the 2 o'clock at Haydock at 20 to 1. That £18 swing's huge just as a Haydock specialist. And I'm going to back him shortly as well. So I'll give the bet as Richmond Lake because I know not many people will want to back a 1 to 2 shot like I will.
This might be turned into a nice little, dare I say the word, Trixie? Jamie.
No, never again.
Oh,
We had
Liam,
such
no.
such a good
no.
year.
I'm going to say no,
January,
Liam. Liam, no.
January to December
William, no.
the 10th.
I can't wait to go collect at the bookies. Jamie, anything from anywhere else? Best bet?
Wherever Leconquier, hopefully Leconquier runs at Ascot instead of going up against Old Park Stair and Hurricane Pat on Saturday against Haydock. That's definitely one because I think she's improving, and it's like they're going into open company with a novice, so that's worth its weight in gold to me. That how they know she's good. Um, The 225 at Navan. This is a good chase, like, because it's a lot of horses that don't like winning, Liam. There's Ballybow, built by Barrymore, Vinny Killa, whatever his name is, Joe Joystick, My Trump Card, Patter Merchant, Slade Steel, Spread Boss Head, Wingman, You're a Dreamer. If Slade Steel doesn't win that Saturday, the horse should be retired. And I'll leave it at that because I think it'll be decent price because there's so many has-beens in it. So yeah, Slade Steel on Saturday to finally break its maiden tag over fences. A supreme winner.
Fair enough. I've just got two I'll give a quick mention to for the weekend in handicaps. The 225 at Windsor, both of these are on Sunday. And as usual, you have to do some scrolling because it's at 33 to 1. It's Green Book, who finished fourth in the Pertemps in 2023, I think, has had a long layoff and was pulled up the last day, but will get conditions. He's back down to a nice mark. Charlie Deutsch is already jocked up, and if retains just an iota of that ability, can certainly get competitive in here at a massive price. So Green Book is one of my radar on the 225 at Windsor. And on the same day, same card, there is a horse who won this exact race over the marathon trip of just under 3 miles, 5 furlongs. He won it last year off £7 lower, Planned Paradise for Christian Williams, who's been having a decent time of it, to be fair. I've just seen he's a short price than when I looked earlier. Was 16s. 12 to 1 looks like top price at the moment, but Planned Paradise, Jack Tudor already booked in the saddle. I think he can go well returning to a venue where he's had course and distance success. So they'd be two from me, and I'll definitely be following Joe in on his 20 to 1 shot as well. As always, drop us a comment. We try to interact with all of them as and when we can. We do watch them, and you will see replies coming back from each of us pretty regularly. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, please. It really helps the show, and we really appreciate it. Is there anything else to add from you boys?
No, we've got our grade one preview out with the Take a Pull podcast, guys. That's available to watch. Plenty of good stuff coming. Might be looking to do. Obviously, we've done a series of stable tours. We did 15 this year. We've had loads more lined up. We literally just couldn't fit them all in. Might do some for the Cheltenham Festival too. So, like I said, again, click and subscribe. It's free to do so. You will be notified when those sort of episodes go live. We've had Gordon Elliott, Henry de Bromett, etc. So maybe we can get them on again. And thanks everyone that's tuned in. I really, really do appreciate it. Yeah.
Great stuff. Well, in that case, best of luck for the weekend, boys. Obviously, I'll speak to you in a few days when we'll be back again. And hopefully, a few of our selections go close. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again on the next one.